Hello folks, Anahita Rao. So we are back at that time when Rahu makes another transit going backward to the next nakshatra. Rahu moves into Mrigashira on the 20th of May till January 26th of 2021. Of course, this date may vary a bit depending on where you are in the world. And please note that this is the mean node calculation and not the true node. Okay, so let's get started with this, yeah? Now, to those who have subscribed, a big thank you. And to the rest, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the right-hand side, yeah? All right, let's get started. Now, I want to speak a bit about Mrigashira first, and then we'll get into Rahu's transit. We can finally breathe a sigh of relief as Rahu leaves its own stormy nakshatra of Ardra, and it certainly has brought stormy weather, sorrow, sadness. But it will also bring regeneration, which is inevitable after the sudden and fierce endings that we may have experienced, which is, of course, a signature of Ardra. We can start to move away from the destruction and into a more healing energy. As you all know, Rahu's movement is always retrograde. So now it's going into the nakshatra before Ardra, which is Mrigashira. The constellation Mrigashira means searching star. So in essence, it signifies roaming, seeking, and hunting. Its greatest impulse is to seek, to discover hidden mysteries, to investigate, to uncover. This constellation is also spiritual and promotes moksha and liberation, and thus can inspire people to study philosophy at this time. The Shakti of Mrigashira is the power to give fulfillment. So perhaps a good time to make a wish. Basically, this fulfillment also comes when you weave through life experiences and manage to harness some creativity out of all of the confusion in your life. Mrigashira's controlling planet is Mars, so this brings a sort of restlessness to it. The symbol of Mrigashira is the deer, and the deer symbolizes the timid, fragile, and also wandering qualities of this constellation. The ability to trust is on the low side. We can do a lot of wandering when it's activated, which can cause feelings of instability at times. On the other hand, the Martian qualities can be manifested as spiritual warriors who are interested in getting to the truth of any matter. If your sun, moon, or rising sign is in this constellation, it gives you a deep yearning for something greater in life and the ability to find it. The deity for Mrigashira is Soma, connected to the moon, for whom spiritual liberation is the primary motivation. It's also easy to see why this nakshatra can give quick radical changes due to its association with the moon, which, as we know, can be seen as waxing or waning. Mrigashira not only gives spiritual intelligence, but also excellent research skills. So of course, this time can be a good time for seeking and finding a way to finally handle the health crisis that we've been experiencing. Mrigashira spans from 23 degrees of Taurus till 6 degrees of Gemini. Rahu will start its transit in Pada 4 of Mrigashira in the Navamsha of Scorpio. And it's free from all aspects at this time, so it can operate alone. This time period can help us dig deeper and effectively use our research skills. It's an excellent time to introspect and reflect, as we're speaking about the Moksha Pada here. Also a very good time to show courage and compassion to those who need it the most. Yeah. On July 22nd, Rahu enters Pada 3 of Mrigashira in the Navamsha of Libra. By this time, the social distancing restrictions would have eased and people will start to get back to normal lives, socially and professionally. Don't expect strong material results here though. Although we'll be in a state of mind to connect and resume our lives, we'll not yet be able to recover financially. But relationships can take a center stage at this time, July 22nd onward, when it goes into the third pada. People will start feeling more optimistic and reconnecting with others. Venus is especially well placed at this time as well, still in Taurus. Then Rahu goes into the Navamsha of Virgo on September the 23rd and normally performs really well here. In the second pada of Mrigashira, Rahu is equipped to give excellent results as now it has entered Taurus Rashi. So you may be inclined to learn new skills now. Travel restrictions would have also been lifted, though I think that they would have eased anyway during the third pada around mid-July. But by now, people will feel much more confident to travel. Here, Rahu is very active and will push you to strive for material gains. As well, we will see Rahu's practical side getting highlighted here. Mental activity is at its peak here, so you may come up with sudden ideas and may take decisions toward your material goals. Mercury will also lend its support at this time as it's just entered Libra. On November 25th, 2020, Rahu goes into the first pada of Mrigashira and into the Navamsha of Leo. This is a very creative pada, so you may be inventing or creating something new in your life. You may be rebuilding your foundations, and it's an excellent time to do that. It's also a great time for any new ventures, creative, artistic ones especially. Overall, this is a good transit, I would say, and we can look forward to positive growth, particularly since Rahu is well placed in both Gemini and Taurus. The fourth pada, which is the beginning of the transit, you can still feel anxious and agitated as Rahu will be in the Navamsha of Scorpio, and things can still feel a bit unsettled and unpredictable for many people. However, once Rahu goes into the third pada of Libra on July 22nd, this transit will bring its fruits and rewards. The storms and destruction of Ardra will be behind us, and we will be rebuilding our lives. Two reasons why I think this is a better transit than the one in Ardra. Number one, because Mrigashira is a much gentler nakshatra than Ardra. And with the exception of the Sun moving through Gemini in mid-June, Rahu will be transiting Gemini and Taurus with friends Venus and Mercury, with no aspects from malefics such as Saturn and Mars. So now what's Rahu? Anyway, well, Rahu represents pending karma, so wherever Rahu is transiting, past life themes can come up in your life. And wherever Gemini falls in your chart, you may experience things in two directions, two paths, two choices. So this can lead to some confusion. In order to really understand how this will affect you, you need to look at the following. Yeah. All right, so first, see the lordship of Rahu for your lagna. So for instance, if you're a Taurus lagna, then Rahu is your 10th lord. So you could be thinking of your career, and you may have two job offers, two different life path choices right now in front of you. And in fact, many of us, especially at the beginning of this transit from late May till late July, when it enters the third pada, will be changing our lives in significant ways. We will see changes in our homes, in our careers, and even our relationships. See any planets that are situated in Mrigashira in your birth chart and what they represent. Because if you have personal planets sitting there, you will be impacted directly. So let's take some examples for that. Let's suppose you're Aquarius lagna. Then you have Saturn sitting in Mrigashira. Then this would trigger your 1st and 12th house matters, as Saturn is your lagna lord. So some health issues may come up at this time, as Rahu will trigger weaknesses and past karma in your chart in order to bring it to the surface and deal with it. It's here where you can also come up with some alternative methods of dealing with health concerns. So it could be something so simple and natural that you never thought would heal or improve your health, like an Ayurvedic herb, for instance. But because we're talking about Rahu, you will take the chance and go down this unconventional alternative path for healing. Many of us will be making changes in our lives that may involve taking some risks and going down unconventional and unorthodox paths now. And as I mentioned before, we also have to see not only the controlling planet of the nakshatra, but also the ruling deity to get some idea of what to expect. So here we have Soma, and the Shakti of Soma here is to give fulfillment and joy. Because it's Rahu transiting though, you'll get the fulfillment of goals by taking risks and thinking outside of the box. Coming up with ideas that you never dared to try in the past. Being unconventional, but still ethical, will get good results. But again, because we're slowly moving away from the Ardra energy and themes of destruction, be prepared to let go of all that has expired in your life. Especially the fourth pada of Mrigashira, you will need to practice letting go of old ways of thinking and old ways of doing. This is the time to think big and take leaps of faith in the areas that are impacted by Gemini and Taurus and represented by Rahu in your chart. During this transit, I would say with the exception of mid-May to approximately mid-July, I would say it's good to take risks. But be cautious of that 2-month period. Think outside the box and be unconventional and daring in your thinking if you want results. Now, the last time we experienced Rahu transit in Mrigashira was from October 2001 till June 2002. So if you're old enough to remember that time frame, you may experience similar themes come up in your life. As usual, the results of any transit depends on the dasha you're running and the strength of your planets in your birth chart as well. And of course, the dasha serves as the background, so it takes precedence. If you're in Rahu or Mercury or even Venus dasha, then this transit is very relevant. As usual, please feel free to leave your comments. And do remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, folks. All the best and stay safe.